The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
No! I'm going down to Alphabet Street. I'm gonna crown this girl that I meet. I'm gonna talk so.
You gotta ask me leading questions.
Hello,
Kathy.
everybody. You know what? It is time for the F word. I'm going to be asking leading questions to my friends. But everybody, you know what? I hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day. I know I did. Anytime that any one of our kids pays attention to us as adults, I think we're blessed. All three of my boys called me. Well, no, the youngest didn't call me because he was actually with me. He just threw snowballs at me, which was awesome. Spent time with my mother and my dad, and had a wonderful weekend. Hayward, Wisconsin area, there was still snow on the ground. They had about 10 inches on May 8th. So I can honestly say that was the first time in May that I had snowballs hitting me. But anyway, it's another great week. It's already mid-May, which means it's almost mid-June and almost mid-July, which will mean it'll be past my birthday then in just 2 months. I'm freaking out. But everybody, I want to introduce you to, here's one of my favorite F words is friend. You know what? I am guilty of saying other F words, but you know what? My favorite one literally is friend, because I'm really blessed to have made some amazing friends in my life that I just, really treasure. And Robin Aeshliman, you're one of them. Welcome to the F word.
Well, thank you, Kathy, and it goes right back at you. When I think of friends, you're right there at the top of the list.
Yes.
And we go way back. How many years, Kathy?
You know what? No, Robin, seriously, 20.
Isn't that amazing?
It is. And here's what freaked me out is my youngest son is 20. So that doesn't seem that old to me. But then when I say, wait, I started at Allianz Life USA in 99, and I'm like, holy crap, that's 20 years ago. That seems like a long time. Doesn't it?
It is. It's craziness. It just flies by. The older we get, the faster it goes.
And that means we just have to enjoy every day that we get, because you know what? The future is now.
Exactly.
So, but let's go. Speaking of the future, let's talk a little bit about the past. I want to hear about you, and everybody wants to get to know Robin. Where did you grow up?
Well, that's an interesting story. I was born in Southern California, and then my parents moved us to Wisconsin when I was a sixth grader, and then to Minnesota when I was a freshman in high school, and I stayed in Minnesota ever since. Once I had kids and grandkids, I'm planted. There's no way out.
There is, because you know what? People always say, why do you stay there? And that's it.
Kids and grandkids, folks. Yep, that's it.
It is. I mean, but you're really smart because you have a place in another favorite F word, Florida.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I get down to Florida as often as I can.
I love it.
Preferably in the winter months, yes. Yeah.
What part of Florida?
Beautiful down there.
What part of Florida?
Down in Fort Myers, another F word.
Another F word. Say ding, ding, ding. I want a little buzzer every time we say F words. That would be fun.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Exactly.
Where in Wisconsin did you live?
I lived in Deerfield, Wisconsin, which is a town about 20 miles, I'd say southeast of Madison.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is that's like about 5 hours from here, right?
Right. That's about that's about right. Yep.
Okay, that sounds about right. Did you grow up a Packers fan?
Actually, no. I was not into football. I was into music. And so I got into the music business right out of high school, and I was on the road 3 weeks out of the month, traveling the 5-state area in a band as the lead singer and rhythm guitar player.
Okay.
So,
I love this part
yeah.
of your life. I love this. Let's talk about your life. Here's your life, Robin Aeshliman. So let's talk about that. So, okay, when did you start singing? How old were you?
I was 9 years old when I started playing guitar, and then I just would sit in my room by myself, and I taught myself how to play. When we got to Minnesota, we lived in a small town at the time. It was called St. Michael, which is now a large town.
Right.
Yeah, but it was right by Hanover, Minnesota, which had a little bar called Michael's Bar, and my parents were out snowmobiling, and they ran across this man playing his guitar and singing by himself in this bar. So they came home and got me and brought me there, and this man let me get up and sing with him. I was 15 years old, and the first song I sang in public was Tammy Wynette's D-I-V-O-R-C-E.
No way. And how old were you?
15, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so that's what started it all.
I remember that song even. Our D-I-V-O-R-C-E
That's it.
becomes final today. Wow.
You know it. Yeah. Yeah. So I
Oh.
got married here, and
How old were you when you
I
were
was-
married?
I was 19 years old.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
Yeah. Yes, I became a mom at 19, and my son was born when I was 19. Yeah, and then my daughter when I was 23. And they
Wow.
were 6 years old and 2 years old when I started at Life USA as a commission rep.
That's crazy. You were
That was-
employee number 26, right?
Yes, good memory.
I
Yes,
know. I remember. I don't remember what I wore today because I'm already in my sweat.
I know.
I can remember that. So
that
employee
something?
number 26, Life USA. You know what? Let everybody know a little bit about what Life USA is, what, well, so you started that, you said when you were 23-ish? No. Older.
Let's see, I started in 1988, so I was
88.
26 years old.
Okay,
Yeah.
20, yep.
And entry-level commission rep, there were 4 of us in the commissions department. And we had just hit 1,000 agents at Life USA.
Amazing.
And we were celebrating that, yeah.
Wow.
And the beauty of starting in this company at the time was because we were brand new, I was able to dive in deep to all the processes and how we did things. And you remember, Kathy, we started the company with foundations about
Big effort.
making sure that, yes.
Foundation?
What was that?
I said foundations. It's huge. Yes.
Yes. And that foundation was service, providing the best service to the field. Because what we believed is, there are so many insurance companies in the world, but the last thing the world needed was another insurance company doing the same things.
Right.
And back then, it was all about, making sure that the independent agent had the best service in the industry, because our founding CEO noticed that all the companies were treating the agents like a nuisance. And so anyway, the beauty of starting when I did was I could dive into the systems, I could dive into how we did things, and come to the table with ideas on how to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, it just created an opportunity for me to continue to improve operations and excel at the company, and it was just a blast. I just had so much fun, and I got to say, in all my years of business, I have not come across anything like it, nor do I think I ever will again.
No.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was such, when I started, it still had, it was so much bigger, but it still had that family, small, close-knit feel.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the FAST team,
Yes.
there was 12. There was 12 people when I started. And
Wow.
I remember, oh my God, Robin, here's one of the things that when I first started, I was the only one on the team that was licensed because I came from Prudential. And so
Oh my gosh.
I have my life and health in 6 and 63, and they didn't require it. And
Right.
we were doing. Oh, here's another F word, and we said a lot of F words when this was going on. Fire sale.
Yes.
Woohoo. So I was on the floor, and I was a little bit newer, and I took a call, and I had to learn all those 3 products. Wow, right? And I didn't know how I'd ever learn all that, but I remember I answered the phone, and it was like all hands on deck. We were super busy, and this agent goes, "Transfer me to a man." I go, "Excuse me?" I go, "Excuse me?" Because you heard me. I go, I can help you, I'm sure. What is it that you're looking for? Listen, I want to talk to somebody that knows what they're talking about.
Oh my goodness.
I go, I said, "Do you have your license?" He goes, "Yes." I go, "Well, I have mine too. Do you have your securities?"
Right.
"Well, no." And I go, "I do. I'm sure I can help you, sir. Please let me help you.
Wow.
We're completely busy right now. Everybody's on calls." He goes, "No, I would like for you to get me a man. I don't work with women."
Isn't that something?
And I said, "Okay, please hold." And guess who walked by me at that exact moment?
Who?
Bob McDonald.
Awesome.
And he said, "What's wrong?" And I told him. He goes, "Let me take that."
Oh my gosh.
And he terminated him.
Really?
He said, "You know what? You think she doesn't know anything? You know what? Then you're saying that I don't know anything, because if I'm going to let somebody that doesn't know anything be hired, that reflects on me, right?" He goes, "You don't need to write with us. We're terminating our contract." Yeah.
Wow.
And I was just like,
that's amazing.
Yes. That was seriously, you don't find that. I found it once before that. And it was at Nordic Track when the inventors were there. I was there for 10 years. And when I left, it was really small then. It went from just Chaska, Minnesota to it exploded worldwide. It was absolutely crazy, where we had retail stores and and magazines and catalogs, and we were everywhere. And so it got too big, is what happened.
Wow.
And that the problem was, Robin, what you said, service.
Right.
So go back to that service, because go back to that.
Yeah, so basically what happened is, as I began to streamline things and create, improve processes and improve service, I was able to get promoted to the department head of field compensation, the department that I started. And then you're talking fire sales, Kathy. I'll never forget this. So during these fire sales, we would have a surge, of course, in recruiting.
Right.
And so we would have to then prepare for what we had back then was called the $100 challenge.
I
and
remember
if we didn't issue a policy, if we didn't issue a policy or call the agent and tell them why we didn't issue the policy within 48 hours, we had to pay $100 every time we failed. And so part of that process, of course, was getting agents licensed and with the states where they were writing and appointed. And so I had to make sure that field compensation was not the bottleneck. So what we ended up doing, preparing for these fire sales, is we had to pretty much operationalize the process into different segments so that I could measure along the way where the process was at. Were there any bottlenecks? Were there any delays? If so, why were those delays there, and what are we going to do to streamline it and remediate? Well, that was a blast. We had so much fun with that. And one of the things I think you'll remember is we worked hard, but we played hard, and it was fun.
Played harder. Oh, my God.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And so then Bob McDonald decided he wanted to start a long-term care division.
Hello.
So anyway, I'll never forget this. He called me into his office, and he said, "Robin, we're going to start a long-term care division, and we want you to lead the operations." And he looked at me, and he said, "Now, don't screw it up."
Wow. You know what? And speaking about long-term care, I talked to John Schrupp today.
You did?
He thought I was going to see you, and he said, "Smack her in the ass for me." So there's an on-air smack, and I'll tell him. So there we
Nice.
go. That's from
Yeah,
Trump.
so we started that long-term care division, and, in operations, what we had to do, Kathy, is we understood that every policy, it costs money to get an insurance policy on our systems.
Yeah.
It's an acquisition expense or a maintenance expense. Acquisition is all the front-end departments, and maintenance is all of the departments that are paying claims or policy administration. And so anyway, I had to make sure that we met all of our price for assumptions. The actuaries would price these products out using certain, assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would get, okay, Robin, so your acquisition expense is $20 per policy. So when you take all the expenses associated with acquiring it and you divide it by how many policies you have, that's how you know what your per unit expense is. So anyway,
wow.
I
That's
know.
like, that makes my eyes hurt to think of that.
I bet, yeah. So anyway, Kathy, what we did is we streamlined the long-term care division so much. We doubled our business, and we did not have to add one person to staff because we streamlined it. And that's what it's fun, is when your business is growing and you're making things more efficient, you're doing more, and you have people doing more value-added activities instead of the more mundane. So that's when we had the most fun, I would say. Yeah.
Wow. So that's amazing. So was there anything that you wish you would have done differently?
Wow. That's a darn good question. The only thing I think I wish I would have done differently is probably that I was really internally faced in making sure that we gave the field the best service possible. And so what I would do is I would get all of the people from the departments working with me to help streamline processes. But how cool would it have been if we could have got some agents from the Twin Cities to sit in on those sessions?
Oh, gosh, right.
That would have been really cool.
And the whole time you're talking about that, I literally was thinking from that view. It's like they don't realize. They don't get it.
Yeah.
Everything that goes into that, because all I hear is the bitching and complaining when it doesn't go right and they don't understand and they don't understand. It's like, I need an exception and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
That's when I really got to know you, when I went
yeah.
to client services. That's when I got to know you guys because, I knew you from when I was in sales, but man, I tell you, because we were just chugging away in the sales department, not knowing what was following behind us.
Right,
you know, and going, whoa, wait, what? I remember, and here was,
awesome.
I remember I had been asked to interview, and I'm trying to think. Somebody, I don't remember who it was, they said, explain a process. And I'm like, what? I didn't know what do you mean? I didn't.
Wow.
Explain a process. I'm like, I can tell you the process of getting a child ready for daycare. I guess I don't, I don't know all the intricate things that,
right.
They're like, well, no, that actually is a good, because you had an actual process, so you followed the process and it became more streamlined, right? And I said, yes. Because, that
exactly.
Having to, having 3 kids, and you have to be organized and you have to have things lined up and ready to go and make it more efficient every day. Otherwise, you're going to be late for work.
Yep, exactly.
So that was, I know, it was
That's
just
why I've
funny,
always
though.
said, I don't know if you're going to like this, but I've always thought that us moms make the best managers because we have to juggle so many things, especially single moms.
No.
Yeah.
Yes. And you know what? I used to tell my employees, too, is like, if I wanted to do daycare, I would stay home with my kids. You guys need to knock off this immature crap because this is stupid. And I think that was probably like my least favorite part was the employees that didn't get it.
Right. I would agree.
The ones that
Yes.
I remember one guy saying, I mean, he had such bad attendance, and you got to do everything, by the books, which you should. There should never be a surprise, but,
Right.
sometimes they live in a different world than we do. But
Yep.
this one guy's like, I can't come to work because I hurt my toe. And I went, wow.
Oh my gosh.
That's,
Don't make me be the mom.
yeah. And seriously, I'm like,
Yeah.
and put a sock on it. Like, I can't put a shoe on. Well, then put a sock on
Oh my
it
gosh.
and elevate your foot. I said, because
Funny.
guess what? I'm telling you right now, you don't come in, I'm writing you up.
Yeah.
And that's your third. So you make the choice. Don't,
Right.
you're putting me in the position to have to do this. So just know you're
fun.
you're making me work harder, and I don't like that when it's not fun stuff. But
No kidding.
so I mean, did you ever think? I mean, now how long were you there? I mean, you
I
were
was there 18 years.
Dang.
Yes, and when I left, I was CAO of the Life, Annuity, and Long-Term Care Division. So I was running a division of 700 people when I left. And so
Wow.
one of the reasons, and the reason I decided it was time for me to move on is because the analogy I use is I felt like I could see where we wanted to go, and I felt like I was running a sprint, but I was up to my waist in mud because I like to move things, I like to see progress, and it felt like I couldn't get decisions. I felt like it got really corporate.
It got top heavy.
Yeah. So I knew it was time for me to find something different, and I respect what it's become because, Allianz Life is really making a big difference for people in the industry, and providing good products. And so bottom line, it's a great company. But for me personally, I just needed to do something different.
And what was
So
that?
now,
And what was that,
yeah,
my friend?
funny you should ask.
I'm funny like that. It's okay.
Yeah. So now what I'm doing is I'm a consultant, and I go into companies and I help them improve their processes.
See?
And right now,
Look at you. That's what you do. Okay.
That's right. Our friend Dan Rourke always said, find your passion, make it your job, you'll never work another day of your life.
Exactly. He also said recruit or die.
Yes, he did.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly
So
right.
Yeah, insurance operations is just in my blood, and right now I'm consulting, and I'm back at Allianz Life. How crazy is that?
Get out! I didn't know that. Robin!
Yes, I am.
I love it. So,
I know. It's fantastic.
Who are you working with then? People that you still know?
The people that are on my team are new to the organization since I left. I left 13 years ago. So it's kind of like the analogy I use on that. It's kind of like I came home and the whole house has been remodeled and new people live there.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to find my way around my house and get to know the people that have moved in. So that's what I'm doing. But right now what I'm doing is helping streamline and improve the IT areas of Allianz Life.
Oh my gosh! That is so cool. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy
It's great.
is I'm not kidding you. I literally on Friday, I was talking to an agent, and he does quite a bit of Allianz Life business. Not the annuities as much, but
Right.
he's like, who can we talk to make this go faster?
Guess who?
Oh, he goes like, seriously, I'm like the person to go to.
Oh my gosh.
Because even if I don't know that I know the person, I find out that I do. Because there you are. Because I'm like, I'm sure I can call around and find out who we can talk to.
Oh my gosh, how funny is this?
It's not even a week later, and there you are. No, how long ago did you start that?
About 5 weeks ago.
Brand new. Wow. Now, did
I
they?
know, it's crazy, Kathy.
How did
It's
that
so
happen,
funny.
though? Did they seek you out? Did
Heidi
they go?
Wackles. Remember Heidi?
Well, duh. Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm on the 5th floor. No, I was on the 2nd floor, and I was coming out of the cafeteria. And as I go into the elevator bay, Heidi is in the elevator, and the doors are starting to close, and she sees me.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, my God. She goes, is that really you? And I go, yeah, hi. And the door's shut, and off she goes. It happens all the time. I will be walking in the hall, and somebody will see me, and it's just a wonderful reception from everyone. Yeah.
Yes. It's so fun. You know, when I was, oh my gosh, I think the last time I was over there was when we were putting stuff together with Carl. And
Really?
Carl and I went over there to talk to, I just forgot the guy's name, but we met with some people on the life team to see about what we could do for us, you know, like a different policy for the players.
Okay.
And so we went and met with them. And what was so funny is we went up to the 10th floor. Now, going everywhere with Carl like I did, and you saw it, people would be like, oh, are you Carl Ellis? Right?
Oh, my gosh.
All the
yeah,
time,
sure
right?
I did.
So we go up to the 10th floor. I got Carl with me, and everybody's running up to me. Oh, my God! It's you, Kathy! Oh, my God! And I look up at Carl, and I go, who's the celebrity now?
Exactly. That's awesome.
Oh, my God. Yes. Everybody is just like, the people.
Well, I told my fiance that I'm going to have to come home, and I'm going to have to get that kind of reception.
That is another F word we're going to get to here, too.
Exactly.
So,
another F word, fiance. How cool is that?
Isn't that, see? And that's part of future. So.
Yes, it is.
But before we get to that, okay, so you're at Allianz. I want to go back and talk about what's an F word for music?
Oh, frets. Guitar frets.
Frets, forte. Okay. Talk about these frets. That's perfect. So,
well,
you talked about being in music, you talked about traveling. I know, like, you played at a certain place and with a certain... I was talking about you today, saying how, you know, you played with Vince Gill, that, you know, got
Vince Gill, yes.
So, how did all of this, like, you're young, you're touring the 5-state region, lead singer, the band, you got to say, I'm with the band, which is my name. So tell me, what made that happen? I mean, you go from being a little girl to now you're singing in public.
What happened was
15.
15, and I'm playing in these bars.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, this one person knows somebody who knows somebody, and I was introduced to a man that played steel guitar with Mel Tillis. And then I had Crystal Gale's.
Sorry.
Then I had Crystal Gale's bass player, and I don't know if you remember the song "Surfing Bird" by the Trashmen. Bird, 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 bird. That song.
Yes.
That guy that recorded that was my drummer.
Oh,
and so, I mean, we just got to know each other through word of mouth, and so then that's when we put this band together, and we were touring, but I got to missing my kids. I couldn't be away from them that long. And so I decided to leave the music business and get a real job, and that's how I landed at Life USA.
So crazy. Did you go to college?
I did not.
You kids? No.
I did go to North Hennepin Community College and took accounting 1 and 2. But that was the extent of it.
Yeah, I managed to not go. I was going to take that year off, and I ended up working and liking money too much.
Exactly.
I never went back, but, you know.
Yeah.
I
didn't know that about you.
No? Yeah.
I had no idea.
Robin, you need to know, I liked to party. And I knew, had I gone straight to college, that there would be no studying. I would just be there. I mean, I'd already gone to frat parties. And I was like, okay, this is fun. There's no way I'm going to make it. I couldn't make it to high school. I barely went to high school. There's no way I'm going to go to college with nobody making me go. So I thought I'd be responsible, take a year, get it out of my system, because that's when the drinking age was 19.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And I became a restaurant manager.
Wow.
Very quickly. I mean, I was always working. In fact, one of my first jobs was I worked where the Life USA building, Ballard Park, the offices there.
Oh my gosh, how crazy is that?
I know. So it's just like, and then, when I was 19, Garcia's, remember Garcia's?
Yes.
That's where Allianz is now. And guess what? When I was 19, I got arrested at Garcia's in the parking lot for public urination. And then I figure I was just marking my territory because I came back and worked at Allianz. It's like, wow.
My gosh, how funny is that?
And I had to explain that when I got my 6 and 63, because they said, have you ever been arrested? I'm like, what? No. Like, why didn't you disclose this? I go, what? They're like, you have an indecent exposure on your record.
My goodness.
And I'm like, really? They told me if I didn't pee outside again, it would come off my record. So, it was like 19 years later. I'm a mother of 3 and having to explain my public urination.
Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. You know, that's just craziness. Wow.
It is craziness. Okay, so you played at the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, yes, I did.
How did that come about?
Yeah, that was very unexpected. I was down there with some friends, and we all wanted to go to Nashville, so we get in the car. It was me and 3 girlfriends, and we cruised down to Nashville. We're taking a tour of the Grand Ole Opry, and Dolly Parton's sister is there, Stella, and she's autographing books that she had written a book. And so we look at the tour guide, and one of my friends says to the tour guide, she's a musician, pointing at me. And my friend said to him, is it okay if she gets up and sings this on stage? And the tour guide said, well, we've got a bigger tour coming in later on today, so if she wants to, sure, she can get up and sing for the tour that's coming in. So I made them take me back to the hotel so I could change clothes, get all ready to play at the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh my gosh.
So, I know. So we get back to the hotel, I change my clothes, we go back. We're walking down the street in Nashville, going to the Grand Ole Opry. I've got my guitar in one hand, and I've got this leather jacket on, and my cowboy hat on, and these people are honking their horns and waving at me like I'm some musician in Nashville. But anyway.
And you were.
So we get in there, and the tour guide has us go sit to the left of the stage, and we're waiting, and then the big tour comes in. There's probably a couple hundred people as part of this tour, and this tour guide was given the history of the Ryman Auditorium, which is the original Grand Ole Opry, and then he says to the group, he said, we've got a treat from Minnesota, from all the way from St. Michael, Minnesota. They introduced me as Robin Lee. That was my stage name because Robin Aeshliman is a little difficult.
Yeah.
So I got up on stage at the Grand Ole Opry, and I sang some Hank Williams songs and Patsy Cline and Jim Reeves. I get done singing, I come off stage, and they're lined up for my autograph.
Oh, how sweet.
It was amazing. And I got to tell you, Kathy, the next week I was back at work, and I'm sitting at my office at Life USA, and I'm thinking to myself, what the heck am I doing here?
Yeah, right. Don't they know who I am?
Yeah, right.
Do you know who I am?
Oh, my gosh. But anyway, that was a pretty cool experience, and I'm very thankful for that,
Well, you're so talented, and so you and I reconnected because you'd put out there that you were playing.
Yes.
Where was that again?
Wasn't that like at,
It was like
was
on
it
the
Four
way.
Wine and Bistro, or was it way up in, was it the one up in St. Augusta?
I know I had to go quite a ways.
It was St. Augusta, yeah.
Yeah. And I went up there, and I know I drank wine, though, so it could have been a wine bistro. Who knows? But
Yeah.
I remember I just kind of drew a little plan on a napkin, and you're like, oh, my God.
Yes.
And we spent a lot of time together, and it's like we got a lot of work to do.
Yes.
And now things are starting to come full circle again. Really exciting.
Exactly.
Which I won't talk about it, so I don't jinx it. But so when you and I, because you were doing consultant work then too, and I love that. I'm curious about the whole consultant thing, and so we'll have to talk about that sometime. How you get yourself set up to do that. But so let's talk about your family now. You got divorced.
Yes.
So how long were you married?
I was married. I asked my husband to leave 17 days before our 10th wedding anniversary. It was New Year's Eve, 1991. I wanted to start the next year off on the right foot.
What's that?
Yeah, really. What time was it? Oh my gosh, yeah. So the divorce was final October 6th of 1992.
Okay.
October 6th, yeah. And so I spent the next, 20 years focused on raising kids and my career.
Right.
And so I really didn't have time to pursue any kind of relationship. So I've been single, just this last February. Valentine's Day, I became engaged. So, yeah, things have changed quite a bit in my world.
Yes. So, I remember you telling me, financially. So I want to touch on the finance part of it, being a single mom, because literally you didn't get any help.
Exactly. No child support, no alimony. And so I was making $18,000 a year when I started at Life USA. When I got divorced, I think I was at $22,000 a year, and so to make ends meet, I had to start singing again on the weekends.
Right.
And so I could make $300 in a weekend singing, and that would pay groceries, gas money, to get to work and back. And I'll never forget, I used to sit at the kitchen table with my kids when it came time to pay bills, and I would show them my paycheck. I think it was $900 for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And they were like amazed that I had $900, and I would say, okay, but now we're going to pay the bills.
Right.
So I would have my daughter open the envelope, and I'd have my son read off the amount, and I'd write the check. I'd hand it to my son. He would put it in the envelope
and lick it.
And then we would balance the checkbook, and I would show him how much money we had left. And then I would divide that by 14 days, and I'd say, okay, if 2 weeks till I get paid again, so here's how much we have left, and here's how much we get to spend per day. So I wanted my kids to understand budgeting. I wanted them to understand that, no, I can't go buy a $100 pair of tennis shoes, and here's why. And it wasn't because I didn't want to. It was because I couldn't. And we as a family had to pull together to make ends meet. And so that was huge. I don't know what maybe thinking of doing that with my kids, but I'm glad I did.
Oh, my gosh, right? And seriously, because the thing is kids don't learn that. They don't learn that now. They don't talk about it in school. And if the parents don't do it, it doesn't get done.
Right. I've always wanted to create a fun game that we could take to schools.
Yeah.
And it would be like, kind of like the game of life enhanced. It would be, all right, you're going to run this household from a finance perspective. And it would be a game where it would send in, like, curveballs, like your furnace just blew up. What are you going to do?
You got a flat tire.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? All from a finance perspective. And the value of saving money, because if you put everything on a credit card, how's that going to work? Let's see how that works. Let's play that book in this game. I always wanted to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be a riot.
It's never too late. You know, so
That's right.
I
That's
left
the other F word is finances. There you go.
Exactly. So, and it is. I mean, as a single mom, and then being in the business that we're in, and that you're back at, I mean, that's what gets talked about, right? You know, all day, every day at Allianz, where I'm at. But it's amazing how many people don't know. And I know I've talked about this so many times on the show, like, you know, like with, you know, NFL players being broke within 2 years is because they didn't have their mom sit down with them and do that. Honestly, because they don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, and all the players that I've talked to, and here's another word, focus groups, is that they wish they would have educated themselves on their finances. But keep talking. I'm going to look out the window here because.
Oh, cannot hear your dog. No.
Yeah, I know she's. So I'm up in the studio, but I can hear her barking. But no, it's so important. I mean, and, you know, you and I've been in the business, the retirement business,
Right.
And you know, having people know, you know, that there's products out there that can keep them from outliving their money and help them sleep at night. But if you don't start younger, I mean, you can end up working and working and working until you die because you didn't set it up that way. And who wants to do that? You know?
I always say, you know, it's hard to raise parents because I can remember after starting at Life USA and our company growing and me learning more about all of the annuities and the life insurance and the products and what they were built to do. I'll never forget, I went home for a holiday. My parents ended up living in southern Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
So I packed the kids up. I drove 15 hours to go spend Thanksgiving with my parents, and I sit down at the kitchen table, and I'm talking to them about annuities and the value of saving for retirement.
Yeah.
And my mom looks at me, and she says, well, you know, I've got $2,000 saved up. And I'm looking at her like, what? And I said, Mom and Dad, you guys, let's talk about this annuity. And I walked them through the mechanics of it and the value of a fixed annuity and what it does for, you know, your retirement. My dad looked at me and he said, why would I want to put any money into an annuity? I won't be able to get at it. And I said, Dad, that's the point.
Yeah, right.
Oh, my gosh. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It just amazed me. And my dad now is 81 years old.
Wow.
And he's still working. He's still working.
What?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
He's a greeter at Walmart.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know what?
And he also drives Uber.
It's like, is that your retirement plan? Yeah.
What was that?
I mean, that's his retirement plan. There you go.
Yeah.
Is that what you want for your retirement plan? You want to be a greeter at Walmart? Because I've heard that they're starting to do away with them.
Oh, really?
Yes. I don't know where I heard it, but I heard that recently that they're starting to stop having maybe as many of them. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
But, yeah, that would be unfortunate because, I mean, and so many people think that they're going to just live on their Social Security. Well, guess what? All kinds of little things like that nobody knows about, too.
Exactly.
So you're set up. You learned early on enough. Take care of things. You've got your beautiful vacation house in Florida. You're moving into a new place, right? Or you just did?
Yeah, we just moved into our home in late February, so we've only been here 2.5 months, and we're just loving it. Yeah.
And where's it located?
In Little Canada, 6 miles out of St. Paul.
Okay. Is that near Inver Grove Heights?
It's not that far from Inver Grove Heights.
Remember that dream I told you about? I was like, where am I? And I see, Inver Grove Heights. Just wondered. So I'll probably have to drive by that to go visit you. But
oh my gosh, that's funny.
I know. Okay, so now we're going to talk about your future. Okay, so you were divorced how many years?
From 1992 till me getting engaged in 2019.
And any long love affairs or relationships?
No.
Robin, okay.
I know.
So you're overdue, right?
Exactly.
So, okay,
yeah.
what happened? What happened? I mean,
what happened?
You fell in love. I mean, oh my God. That's what everybody wants.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
So
I never thought it would happen to me. Yeah, I think what happened is I got to a point in my life where, I'm done raising my kids. My kids are adults. My son, they're both June babies. So this June, my son will be 38 and my daughter will be 34.
Wow.
I've got 6 grandchildren, and they're getting, well, my one granddaughter, my youngest, will be 2 years old tomorrow. It's her birthday. Little Rosie turns 2. Yeah. But then the oldest granddaughter is a freshman in college. So that's the age span I'm dealing with. I know.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I've been doing so many things by myself, Kathy. I'm a cyclist, as you know.
Yep.
I did a cycling trip through northern and southern France by myself with, of course, a group of people, but I went there alone. I do all my cycling around the Twin Cities by myself, or I go to movies alone, and I just got to a point in my life where it's like, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to share my life with somebody. I think it's time. I'm more settled in my career where I know I'm not going to be spending 60 hours a week at work like I used to. Remember those days?
Yes. Yeah.
And so I got to a point where I wanted to share my life with someone. And so I did go out on a dating site. Mm-hmm. And, I was able to meet someone, and we dated, and it was really quick. We started, as a matter of fact, tonight is our 9-month anniversary of being together.
So, okay. Now, I got to ask this. So you went on this dating site. Did you date other people first?
Yes.
And just were like, meh, 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 meh. And then
exactly.
Was it
exactly
like, whoa.
Yeah, we met at a Twins game, and so I was sitting there waiting, and I'm always early everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Which can be a character flaw, but anyway.
It's good. It's better than late.
So I'm sitting there, and so then I'm waiting, and I get text message, that she's on her way, and so she shows up, and it's like, I don't know, it was crazy. First minute, when she smiled, it was like, wow. You know when you know. And she'll tell you the same thing, that we just, as a matter of fact, we were at a Twins game last night to, kind of celebrate the 9 months we've been together.
Yes.
Yeah. And so since we met at a Twins game, we had to go back to another one. And so 6 months into the relationship, we were engaged. So it was really pretty cool.
All right. So does she know that you showed me?
Does she know what?
That you showed me, that you told me?
Yes, I told her.
Oh, my God. I was like bawling. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just like, Robin, you deserve. And now I'm going to cry again.
Oh, you're a dear friend. Thank you so much. It's just, she means the world to me, and my life is so much better, and to have someone like her in my life, it just, I really can't tell you how much, it's amazing to me. Yeah, I never knew I could feel this way, really. And, I tell her, I wish I would have met you in my 30s.
No.
But you know what?
No.
It was, I wasn't ready, I don't think. And I'm ready now. And that's what makes it so beautiful.
That's right. I mean, I am sitting here, I'm going to be 55, Robin. I'm going to finally be
able... you're young pup.
Yeah, but what's turning 50. Remember how fun that birthday was of mine? And, I was in the best shape of my life. And now I'm 55 and I'm in the worst shape of my life. and the stupid Lyme disease, and I just went, but I never thought I would be single at this age. And
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
hear you.
dating now is so much harder. I mean, men are jerks. I mean, it's like, you're so smart.
Oh my gosh.
But, it's like, it's so hard to even believe people anymore. But
Yeah.
you just don't even
I
know
know.
if they're telling you the truth
Well,
about things.
who will tell you? We would go out somewhere, and I would have to make sure, like, when we first started dating, it's like, you're not like an axe murderer or anything, right? We're going down this scary road, and I'm going, So.
Right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she would tell you, so we went through that. It's all about, how do you build trust with somebody, and
yeah.
But like I said, for she and I, it went really quickly.
Yeah.
I really believe that. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing,
you know when
you gotta look somebody in the eyes. If they don't look you in the eyes, it's like, okay, what's wrong with you? But my friends at work give me such a hard time because I date a lot. I mean, that's not a problem, is getting a date, but it's like,
right.
One of the guys at work said, he goes, you get bored really quickly, or you immediately start looking for what's wrong with the person so you can get out of this.
Oh, I hear you. It's hard.
I mean, but seriously, it's like, okay, this guy's an open mouth chewer. This guy, Robin. That's like, hello. I'm like, wow, really? And so that's where it's like, sure, I'll meet you for something to eat. Because that can eliminate you immediately. Thanks. I gotta go. I don't feel very well. And it's just like, my God, there was like a couple of open mouth tours where it was like, wow.
That's not good. No. That's a deal breaker for me.
Oh, immediately. And then, I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah. Oh, married? Yeah, that doesn't work either. That really doesn't.
No.
Oh, you're not married? Oh, wait.
No.
Oh, you are married. Okay, what? What is it?
Oh, my goodness.
Well, why don't we call her? Oh, you're together just for business purposes. Oh. Okay, well, no, that's not going to work either. Sorry.
Interesting. Yeah.
Oh, no, it's just, it's
unbelievable.
Just crazy. So it is, it's get the habitual liars, cheaters.
Yeah.
And, and then I have girlfriends that I'll go, wait, what? He's married? Yeah, but he's going to leave her. And I go, really? So if he cheats with you, he'll cheat on you.
Uh-huh.
Right? I mean, it's just like, that's...
Figure.
It just is what it is. And you know what? I think eventually, I'm just not patient. I don't put up with stuff for very long. I guess.
Yeah, I hear you. I've had to also look at myself, and I've had to make some changes about how I view things, and be okay with being a little more, I'd say, open to different ways of doing things, because my way isn't always the only way.
Oh,
and I tell you, after being by myself for as long as I have, that's something that, is definitely an issue.
And that is, I would love, I think about that because I want somebody to move in with me that'll do everything.
Oh!
I'm not asking for much.
My gosh.
I've literally, I've asked guys, do you like doing laundry? Yes. Oh, okay. What about
that's awesome.
housekeeping?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, but so when I was married, I traveled a lot, and he did all the laundry, did all the cleaning. So now I'm by myself, and I'm going, I don't like to do this stuff. I
Yeah.
I didn't have to really do this stuff before. So,
Yeah.
and then you pay somebody to come in. I don't really like having to pay somebody. Sure, I think
I know.
they just need to live here and do it.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
pick up
You need to be on the point.
after me. Exactly. Exactly. So, okay. So, future. You guys have a date set?
We talked about our 1-year anniversary.
Okay, so
Potentially.
in 3 months.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, and
Yes.
where's it going to be?
Well, I've thrown out a few ideas, but we haven't landed on any yet. So we're still looking at a couple of different things.
Okay, so you're thinking like in this state?
It could be. Another option is maybe a bicycle trip somewhere and having it happen there, but we don't know yet.
I'm just putting a little bug in your ear to make sure to remind me where it's at. Come to. And I can't wait to meet her. So we gotta make that happen.
I can't wait for you to meet her too.
Because I told you then when you told me that I already loved her, since you love her.
Oh,
She's
you're
got to
so
be an
sweet.
amazing woman. And remember you telling me that she worked at the VA.
Yeah, she does. Mm-hmm.
My ex-husband is a permanent fixture there. But yeah, wow. I'm just so happy for you, and I'm so excited that you were able to join me tonight, Robin.
Well, thank you, Kathy. And if there's ever anything else I can do, let me know. As you know, I truly believe in what you're doing, and would love to help out in any way I can.
And I am definitely going to take you up on that, my dear. And if I am going to let you go for tonight because our hour is up. Thank you for joining us, the F Word, Robin. And everybody, thank you for tuning in. And we'll see ya, or actually, you'll hear ya, us, or me, or whoever is. It's 10 o'clock. I gotta go. Thank you for joining us on the F Word. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.